Okay.
They would make it like if it was a fidget spinner on the camera.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 714 podcast. Today we got a special guest here, my friend Isaac. He goes to UCR. How's it going, man?
It's going pretty good, man. You know,
Yeah.
just trying to stay. Yeah,
Just chilling.
Yeah, just chilling.
Yeah. All right. So, like last week, I think we went to see the Joker movie.
Yeah. On Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. What'd you think about it?
You know, I think the story wasn't very clear. Like, there wasn't really a theme that it was following throughout the more of just like the development of the Joker.
Yeah.
How like he started being a maniac, basically.
I know. For those of you guys who didn't see it, go out and see that shit because that was pretty amazing movie. But like, have you watched The Dark Knight before?
Yeah,
You saw that one, right?
That was my favorite
Heath Ledger,
Joker, actually.
Yeah, dude. Heath Ledger killed that shit.
Like, his performance was, and then I heard that the scene where he's clapping in the cell, that was just improvised.
Yeah,
like nobody knew that he was gonna do that, but it fit so perfectly. Like, and you could feel the people just looking at him like, this guy's crazy. You know?
I know.
He genuinely gave that vibe of like, this guy's insane.
I know, dude. That I think like Joaquin Phoenix, who played Joker in this recent movie, he did an excellent job.
Yeah, he did really good portraying the character.
Yeah, like I was blown away. Like I didn't expect. I heard all the hype, you know, like before the movie that like this is a great performance by him, but I didn't expect it.
There's people saying that he's like for sure a nominee for the Oscars, like actor thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But that brings up controversy because a lot of people are saying that like the movie itself was irresponsible.
Why?
They're saying that it's promoting or like endorses violence among people who are unstable, like he was, right? And especially in this like modern age where there's like a bunch of shootings that have been going on. They're thinking that like by playing this movie in films or in movie theaters and all that, it's gonna influence more of those shootings to happen.
Okay.
You
so
know?
they think that like that'll influence people to actually do what that's just stupid.
I think I can kind of see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
But I don't even think it's a movie's responsibility.
I know they're just trying to like share their story, right?
Yeah. A movie's responsibility is to entertain. And the movie was entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, you were there and kind of like clenching the seat. Like, oh shoot, what just happened? You know?
I know.
I don't want to spoil any part of the movie, but
that ending is
you gotta go watch that movie.
Yeah, go watch that.
Yeah, like just gripping on your seat. It takes you through like a roller coaster, and you're there in awe. Like, whoa, did that actually just happen?
And I think that's what like movies, like in general, like that's what it should bring like, to the audience.
Film is supposed to, it's like an art, you know. And the good thing about it is like, usually in art, the picture stays still, right? It's not moving. But in films, it's frames, you know. Yeah. The pictures are moving, and so there can be more of a connection where it's telling a story of a person or something like that.
Yeah, just an idea.
And you can put yourself and kind of feel what, at least I thought that I could feel like, dang, like I felt sympathy for the Joker to an extent. You know, I didn't agree with everything he was doing, but
especially in the beginning, like of this story. I don't want to spoil it either, but like he was like a normal person, you know, like just trying to get by life.
Just, you know, just a guy with extra problems than most people would actually have.
Yeah.
And so it's like a journey of him trying to deal with those problems, but society just keeps pushing back on him. And he finally like explodes basically. And at least a good movie.
I know. Yeah. And like talking about like mental issues and stuff, like I know you listen to Gary Vee, right?
Oh yeah. Comes out on my Instagram feed, on TikTok too.
Always spreading that positivity. Shout out to Gary Vee. Yeah. So like, how'd you like find him like on social media?
Well, my brother would send me like some of his videos sometimes. I don't know how he found him, and I'd watch the videos, and at first I thought like all he does is cuss, right? Yeah. And so I thought like this guy doesn't care at all. Like he doesn't, you know.
Yeah, dude. Most people like they like stop watching it because he cusses so much.
Really?
But like, yeah, like that's why he made a censorship. Like censored,
a censored version of himself.
Yeah, censored version.
But I would think that like that just shows like his authenticity.
Yeah, no, that's why he says like I have to cuss. Like people have canceled on him like like 10 years ago when he was doing talks, like people said that you had to be clean, but he didn't do it.
He's
like,
been saying, I've heard him say that he could be so much bigger than what he is right now if he would just stop the cussing, right?
Yeah.
But
like that
really,
be,
like, what is the cussing even doing? Honestly, like,
I think it gives like more energy to it than like degrading him.
And it's not like he's using the language to actually degrade people. Or,
yeah, I know.
It's just like the way he speaks, right?
That's just how it is. Like,
just from his background, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think he's doing really good, you know, motivating people.
Yeah. I
feel like he's genuinely trying to improve people's lives, you know?
Yeah.
And there's not many people out there who want that. A lot of people out there are trying to like...
I think like what people don't understand in the beginning was like that he's speaking the truth. Like people don't want to hear the truth, that they're making all these excuses for not doing what they want to do.
People would want to live in the saying ignorance is blissful sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people
Kid Cudi said that.
Some people just want to keep living like that, you know, like ignorant of what's actually going on, right? Yeah. And some people just don't want to change. And he's telling them, hey, you got to change. Times are changing, you know, culture's changing. Yeah. And we got to change with it.
I know. Like he predicted all this stuff like way
years
back.
ago. I've seen those videos where he's like bald.
Yeah, 2008, bro. Like
and he's still cussing. And then it switches like to the current version. He's like a decade later, same game or something.
Yeah, dude. That's why I love him, dude. Like he's the only person I found like on social media
that's been saying the same thing, and it's actually happening. But like.
And it's like the truth, and he's giving it for free. Like he's not saying go sign up for all this shit, like just to like
a lot of people like, hey, I have the secrets, but you got to sign up for my program right here. And then there's different levels to my program. You know, the 5 basic truths, and then like the 20, and then you pay like an extra $100, and you can get my secret to business and become a millionaire
in 1 week.
Yeah, some like, BS like programs that you're just feeding them. You know.
Yeah. And that's why like he's so amazing. Like I think he's impacted like so many people.
Yeah.
Like just from him on social media, and he's on like so many different platforms.
This morning actually I saw a video of Gary Vee. He posts so much, and like, you know, sometimes I just
because I mean he owns a marketing company called VaynerMedia.
Yeah, and he's really good at marketing. I mean, he's using everything out there, TikTok. A lot of people.
He knows he's good at marketing, right?
Yeah.
And so he's marketing himself, right? As a motivational. I don't want to say like motivational speaker, but like just saying.
He does have a lot of motivation, impact. You know. Like, it's a lot of motivation, but I think a lot of it too is just from his experience. He's trying to better other people's lives.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true.
To some extent. And this morning I saw a video of him, and sometimes he shows like little girl or no, that came out wrong. He shows like people like talking to him on his events. And then this video was a little girl who told him like she was inspired by him.
Yeah.
And that she realized that it doesn't matter what other people think about you, right? That it doesn't matter if they think you're stupid or something like that. Like just keep doing what you're doing. If you have a passion for it, right? Keep pursuing it, and eventually if you know, if you really want to do something, then you'll succeed in it.
Yeah, that's like facts right there.
That reminded me of a video of, I think it was Steve Jobs giving like a little speech where he was saying that, you know, to be successful, it's difficult, right? Like to find success in something is difficult, and that's why you got to have passion for it. Yeah,
there's no way you could do it without like loving the process.
Yeah, because if you don't care for it much, you know, you're just like, oh, I need the money.
Like this the key. Like if you're doing it for like, let's say money or fame, like that's the destination, right?
Yeah,
that's what you're doing it for. It'll never happen
because like that's give up midway because there's nothing that's actually enjoyable in the process that's making you keep going. Yeah. But if you have a passion for it and it's what you really want to do, then you should do it and you will succeed. Like Elon Musk dropped out of college to pursue his coding, right? And look at him now.
Like he didn't do it because of money. Like Bill Gates didn't do it for money. Steve Jobs didn't do it for money.
What they had is a vision to change the world.
And they did it because they love the process.
And the money just comes along with it. Yeah. People look at it wrong. People,
I know.
People pursue the money instead of pursuing like the thing they want to do to have an impact. Yeah, like the money surely does come along with it if you actually pursue it.
It shouldn't be the goal. Like it shouldn't be like the main thing.
Yeah, it shouldn't be your end goal.
Yeah,
it should be
that just comes along with it.
Yeah, it's like compensation basically.
And people have a severe lack of patience when it comes to that. Like they want it. They want, like, they say money now.
Yeah.
But they don't put in the work, the same amount of work to get it.
I think like, part of it too is they have to like humble themselves, right?
Yeah.
They should be humbling themselves to like, okay, I'm gonna do the work, right? Not like, oh, someone else should do the work for me, and you know.
Yeah. They blame everybody else except
for themselves, and you know, sometimes you just gotta put your ego down, and you know, just accept the facts that you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And you gotta look at the results you're getting, and if you're getting consistent like bad results, then you gotta change something in your game, or else you know, you're just repeating the same mistake all the time.
Yeah. And if you do the same thing like over and over or expecting different outcome,
that's like insanity, right? Yeah, the definition or something like that. I've seen that.
Yep.
It makes me think like that makes half the world insane.
I know, dude. This was got like really inspirational, motivational, but it's a good topic.
All from Gary Vee, man.
Yeah, dude.
Legend,
bro. So what else you want to talk about?
Well, you know how we start off with the Joker endorsing violence, or I mean, I could see the point they make, but at the same time, I don't really think it's that big a deal. But that leads me to a couple years back, and I think they're still trying to do this, is they're also pushing for video games causing violence, you know? Like, they just want to, like, what we were talking about right now, they just want to blame everything else but, you know, the actual things that are doing it, right?
Yeah.
And so they say, oh, video games cause violence. And then I've seen a lot of memes where it's like the Minecraft players, like, oh, shoot, like, what are we doing?
I know, dude.
Or my grandma playing Candy Crush, and then she comes out with, like, an AK. Like, no, I think there's a big, like, disconnect between that. Of, like, it's not actually causing violence. I think what would be the cause of the violence, more than anything, would be the people who can't compete, you know, because a lot of games require competition. And if they just, you know, from a young age that they don't know how to lose, right? Okay. And so they get angry. Yeah. I think that's what it is, that they never learn how to lose. And that goes back to childhood, right? Like, they always got what they wanted from their parents, you know, like they start crying and their parents just feed them what they want, I think. And that later on makes them always want the same thing, right? Yeah. It's all about them, you know, but that's just not how the world works, you know?
Yeah. But like, I think what most people don't understand is that like video games, yes, like sometimes it could like waste time and stuff, but now people are realizing like
it's an industry.
It's an industry now. Like people are
making money out of that. Like,
I know there are like different teams, and like esports is now
in schools, right? Even in high schoolers. I remember in high school, our high school, Villa Park, when they came out with the esports team over the announcing system, like in the classes, everybody was laughing, and I was like, why are you guys laughing? That's like an actual
people don't realize
thing now.
Like this it's gonna be as big as like any other sport, like football or basketball.
Especially because that's how I want to say that culture is like kind of evolving into different things of the times, right? And I can see the point that parents make, where it's like, oh, a big waste of time, because back in their time, that was you were a couch potato.
I know,
and
like,
you know,
this what happened like back, like before, like back then, it was like TVs were like bad for you because like everybody would watch TV and now, stuff. And then
if you get into the TV industry, you know, like the Hollywood actors and all that, you know, you're pretty much up there on society in terms of popularity, in terms of like people knowing your name recognition, and all that stuff.
And we're not saying like go and play video games like all day and you'll be fine.
Don't quit your job and think like, I'm gonna be a streamer or something. You have to actually have passion, like we were talking about passion for that.
Like don't just do it for money or fame or anything like that.
That shouldn't be the end goal in the end of the day. And so the people who do pursue that though, I would think that they don't blindly just jump into it. They know that they have a backup, you know, they have their part-time job, and then they do that on the side, right? Yeah. And I think once the side starts getting them more cash flow than the actual part-time job, I think that's when they realize that, you know what, I can actually make something out of this. Yeah. There's a lot of potential here. And so they quit their part-time job,
and then they full-time on
their streaming or whatever they're doing in terms of gaming. But like, as I was saying, parents, I could see why they have disapproval on that. Yeah. Because
it's like unknown to them.
And back in their time, right, that was like you were low in society. You know, you're not contributing like into society. But now it's like a whole business. You know, there's trade offs. You know, there's an actual business aspect to the gaming that I think is actually bringing it up, and I think it's certainly you know, increasing in popularity. It's becoming more well
like
known.
just look at Ninja from Fortnite. Like that was
and they're getting sponsorships too, which is making the money. And I think he has a Red Bull sponsorship. I'm not entirely sure, but
they
I
built
think
his studio, like at his gaming studio in his house.
Red Bull is known for extreme sports. You know, maybe that's the E, and he's fine.
Yeah, but like that's crazy how just in like a short amount of time, like gaming has blown up
like exponentially, basically. Yeah. And I think a lot of it too has to do with businesses trying to marketing. They're realizing that, hey, a lot of kids are watching these things. Yeah. Let's market to them, right?
I know.
How do we do that? Let's pay this guy right here that everybody's watching. It could be Ninja or whoever people are watching. And let's ask him to use our chair, or let's ask him to drink our drinks, right? Yeah. And show the people like, hey, this is what I'm drinking, you know?
And then they'll watch it. I mean, they're kids.
They're marketing to millions of kids. And then a lot of people target kids. Like, have you seen those toy YouTuber reviews? People?
Oh, yeah. Dude.
I think there's a kid there. He's like the richest YouTuber or something. I'm like, dang, this kid's making bank.
But reviews toys. I mean,
that's it. Millions of kids watch that because, you know, their parents don't want to deal with their crying or anything. Like, here's the phone, you know, here it is. Go use it. And then the kid goes up and is like looking at YouTube. And that's what pops out for the kids, right?
Yeah. I mean, that just goes to show you, like, you could do whatever you want.
Like, on YouTube or like, these platforms that people have put up for you to like present your ideas
you could
free.
Just like buy a toy and then like play with it.
Yeah, and like, in front of a camera, like just show people like, hey, look at this toy right here. Like, oh, look, it moves. Isn't that cool? I know. And you have your audience right there. Like,
even like this, dude. Cool. Like people are listening to us right now. Like,
the few people that would listen to us.
But.
Like, it's crazy how anybody, if they have like a drive for it, you know, a passion, they can go up and start something of their own, you know? They can put their content out there. Yeah. And then all these new platforms that are coming out, like TikTok is a relatively recent one that has appeared. And it's been getting a lot of hate, you know? A lot of people think like, oh, that's cringe, you know? I think they don't understand that. That's like a new thing, you know? And sure, it might die off, but right now it has like the potential to become something bigger.
Yeah. People had the same thing like with other social media platforms like Snapchat or like
Instagram when it first came out.
Yeah. And it wasn't the same, but then over time as it developed, it got to that level.
Like nothing comes out already done and you know? It comes out and that's why they're constantly having updates. I mean, recently I just downloaded or updated my phone with iOS 13. Yeah. That thing came out a while back, but like I had too many apps and like no space on my phone. Yeah. But a couple of days ago, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of, for some reason, my fingerprint wasn't working. And I kind of thought like, maybe it's this like update thing. They're purposely making my phone sucky.
Really?
Sure enough though, I deleted a bunch of apps, downloaded it, reinstalled my apps, and then the fingerprint sensor, like, I have no problems with that anymore. I'm like, this is some BS.
Maybe it's just like the storage problem.
Maybe it wasn't like storing my fingerprint correctly or something.
I don't know.
I did hear that. I don't know if this is factually correct, guys, but my brother was talking about Apple. How every time they come out with a new update, they purposely make like their other phones and all that like kind of crappy and start
like slow. I mean, that was a big thing. Like I think last year, like people
were catching on to that.
Yeah, they saw.
So
like,
it was a thing, right?
I mean, they said like what they do is like either like lower the power or lower the
like
power,
the
but
software aspect of it or something.
to increase the battery life.
Oh,
the battery
slowly starts dying.
Yeah, the battery slowly.
That would make sense, and it's also good for their business model. Think about it. Yeah. A new thing comes out, it's a lot of money. Yeah. And then the old people, or not the old people, the people who have like old products of theirs, they're not making any more money on those old products. You know, you got to get rid of the old. Yeah. And they want people to buy the new. How do you do that? You gotta do something with the old ones. You know. Yeah, I know. That way people are like, damn, I'm getting tired. Like, mine's an iPhone 6. It's a hand-me-down. You know, I need to upgrade already.
But, like, I recently, like I said before on the other podcast, I got a new phone, like iPhone 11.
Yeah, you're almost six versions ahead of mine.
Yeah. Like, that phone, like, I had the 7 before, right? And then I upgraded, and it's, like, such a big difference. Like,
not just camera quality, but...
Yeah, like, the screen, like, you know how it's, like Like
Oh, the
this.
bezel's less,
Yeah,
right?
it's less.
Oh, nice.
And it's more screen.
I've
It's like
seen
quicker and
a lot of memes
everything.
on the camera thing.
Yeah, yeah.
With the 3 camera option, and they put like they compare it to the fidget spinner.
Yeah,
You know?
there was like a case that somebody made, genius case. Like I don't know who made it, but they had Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, and then he's like
with the
carrying the rocket launcher.
Yeah, dude. That was like crazy.
That's creative though.
Yeah,
you
that's
gotta
creative.
give props to that.
Yeah, but yeah, technology advancing.
Like yeah, industries are advancing. You know, as
Mhm.
technology goes on, new things pop up, right?
Yeah,
And you start wondering like, what would it be like for the next generation before us? You know, right?
are you
like-
after
Or yeah, after this,
Yeah.
I mean, like if we're doing this, we're hopping onto bandwagons of like gaming or
Mhm.
or new social medias. What are they gonna be?
Yeah,
Because they're growing up with this stuff.
I
You
know. Like they're gonna be like how it was for like Instagram for us.
Mhm.
You know how it was just like coming up when we
Yeah.
were young.
They're gonna
But for
become
them,
the next
yeah.
carriers of that platform.
Yeah. So I mean, they're gonna get even better with technology.
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
I
'Cause,
think
like,
so. But I think there has to be a plateau somewhere, don't you think? Like, there's this thing called Moore's law where like, it like rises exponentially or something of
Like what?
the processors or something like that that they increase exponentially or something like that.
Of technology
Yeah, like
or
the increase in technology. Haven't you seen like the chips can keep getting smaller, like
Yeah.
by half the size every time?
Mhm.
And so sooner or later, don't you think there's gonna be a plateau where like it can't get any better?
No, I don't think.
You don't think so?
I don't think like technology will ever like stop.
Slow
Yeah.
down.
I don't think, or like it might slow like
I think-
a little bit, but it won't like ever like plateau like straight
Yeah.
line.
I think
Because
it would
there's-
depend on society. If there's
Yeah.
anyone out there actually trying to improve things, right?
Hmm.
Because most of our technology came from people trying to do other things.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
Look at what we've done. Like humanity has done in
Yeah.
20 years. Like nobody had a phone. Like, 20 years
nobody had
ago.
the idea
20
of like, hey,
like cell phone
I
that
can
with a
talk to
touch
someone.
screen.
Yeah. Or like nobody had the idea of like FaceTime where it was like, yeah, I want to talk to someone but actually see them
Yeah.
across the world. Like I don't think anybody had that idea in their head
Until somebody
until
did.
somebody thought about like, hey, I want to do this, right?
Yeah.
And how would you go about doing it? Like
You gotta.
you
You
just
gotta
gotta,
kind of.
you gotta have the passion for it.
Yeah.
Nobody that doesn't have the passion is gonna stay there
Mhm.
working 16-hour days. People
Yeah.
complain about a 9 to 5, right?
I know.
And
Well-
nobody's gonna realistically stay to a 16-hour work day unless they
Yeah.
actually want something from it. You know,
Mhm.
they have a
Yeah.
passion for it.
And then it happened. Like
Yeah.
somebody talked to who I don't even know who made it. But like I think Apple was like the first to really implement it.
The
Into
touchscreen,
their
I think so.
phones. Like yeah, touchscreen especially.
And that
And-
revolutionized the phone industry,
Yeah.
right?
I know.
You threw
and
away
now,
your
like
crappy
the
flip phone.
evolution of like now there's less bezels in the phone,
Oh yeah,
and now there's like the touch
it's all about
sensor in
like
display.
the bigger screen you can get, right?
Yeah,
And also they have the face unlocking
Yeah.
features and all that. And I'm wondering like, people are thinking about like things that were coming out in movies that were seen as like, oh, hyper realistic
Yeah.
or hyper future.
but like this just goes to show you like humans can, like whatever you could think of,
You know, you
could
can
do
make
it.
happen,
Yeah.
basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like a couple of years back, they come out with the hoverboards, right?
Yeah.
And we actually thought like, or I thought they came out with hoverboards. I did some research and no, it was just those 2 wheels touching the floor and you're like going forward. But I
Yeah.
think recently they did one with like Tony Hawk or something like that.
Mhm.
He's like on an actual hoverboard.
Oh yeah.
I'm not so sure about how legitimate that is,
Yeah.
but it could be like a prototype into the next thing or something like that.
Mhm. Yeah, like they even like I know like electric skateboards are a big thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that
At school, that's all
Yeah,
people
I
use.
know.
I see. Like I'm walking around, my calves are hurting.
yeah, I know, and they're
My
just
calves are
zooming
hurting
down.
for walking 100 feet.
Yeah.
And then I see some kid next to me. They have the little control.
Mhm.
They don't even have to like push anymore. They're just
Yeah.
and then they slow down.
Yeah, you could slow down too.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
The other day I was at the bus stop because I was waiting to take my bus back home with a
Mhm.
friend. He has one of those electric longboards
Yeah.
and he's waiting. And some kid has like he pulls up with his bike and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, this kid kind of like he was outgoing, I'm guessing, because he looks at the board and just grabs the board out of my friend's hands.
Really?
And he's like, "Oh, is this like an electric board?"
Mhm.
And I could tell my friend was a little uncomfortable.
I know.
Like-
Like, who would just grab
like-
that shit?
That's not like kind of like something of the norm, you don't just
Yeah.
randomly go to someone else's stuff and grab it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he grabs the board and he's looking at the battery, and then he grabs the control. And I was thinking, like, dude, if I was the owner of the board, like I would have quickly just grabbed it back and like pushed that kid or something.
Yeah.
And that kid puts it down on the floor. And he's like, "Can I try it out?" And my friend's like, "Sure." And I was like, "Dude, he's gonna jack your stuff, man."
Mm-hmm.
But he left his bike, and I was like, "He jacks your board, we jack his bike." And yeah, he was just going around on the sidewalk with the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was pretty cool because with the press of the button, you know, you can just increase your speed, decrease it, you know,
mm-hmm.
whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Except take stairs on, because no, you had to get up and walk.
I know. I think they even like made some of them like even water resistant in some ways too. Like
they've done
like with the splashes and like
on the sides when it's or when it's raining too. But the problem would be storing it, I would think. Because like you show up to class and where are you gonna put it? Like a lot of people leave it in the back.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be comfortable leaving like a like a $300 plus board in the back, because someone can just show up and like grab it, and you're in lecture, you know, you're all the way in the front.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna grab it and just dip with your board.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But I think like that technology improvement is essential for like mankind.
And like I myself like think about it sometimes, and like I can't comprehend what the next thing is gonna be, right? It just happens, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like I can see where that came from, but like before it was there, I had no idea what the next step would be.
I think like Amazon, they really changed like the whole industry with one day shipping. Yeah, like delivery. Yeah. Nobody, like everybody was thought like you just go to the store, right, and then buy whatever you want.
I heard that they're making, or they made like the store where you don't even go to a cashier or anything. You just walk out with the stuff.
Yeah, I went in there.
Oh, you went to one of those? Yeah. How was that?
It was fun. Like, how
does that work though? Like,
okay, so you download the app. It's like an app,
like
Amazon.
An Amazon app.
Yeah. I think it might be a different app. I'm not sure exactly, but you get a QR code,
there, right?
And you got to input your card, like credit card, right?
Or and
then you scan, you know how it's on the subway, like you got to pass one of those things.
Oh, okay.
And so you scan it, and then you walk through, and there's like a bunch of items, right, that you could pick, and you just grab one, and it knows that you picked it up.
Oh, you don't have to scan like the...
No.
Because I know my dad goes to Sam's a lot.
Yeah.
And like he just grabs the things and he scans them on his phone.
Yeah, you don't even have to do that.
You don't even have to do that?
Like you just pick it up, and then if you want it, you walk out, and it's already paid for. Like you just pick it up and then walk out. Or
does it pay for it when you walk out?
Yeah. Or like it pays, I think it charges a little bit after. It doesn't like charge right away.
Oh, okay.
But like once you pick it up, it knows that you grabbed it. Mm-hmm. And then if you put it back, it knows that you like put it back down. Yeah.
Huh. That's kind of crazy to think about. Like maybe in the future, like that's just how stores are gonna be. Like, oh, I'm just gonna grab this and leave.
Was in Seattle. I went there like this summer.
For your vacation?
Yeah. Oh, and it was I think that's like the only one.
Is it popular or?
I mean, it was pretty popular. I mean, it's a small store.
But it's not like
Costco or anything. But yeah, people go in there. It's like in downtown Seattle too. So
people want to try it out. Yeah. I was also watching like a video of like ideas that Amazon might have had or something like that. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know if you ever saw this, but I think it came out on like the Snapchat story stuff from like Now This or something. I'm not quite sure, but
really,
it was like a blimp. And then from it come like these drones from Amazon that deliver things. Yeah. You saw that?
Yeah.
At first I thought it was real. I was like, there's no way. Did they actually do it? And then I saw it was just like a little like simulation.
Yeah. That's just like an idea somebody had.
It's a good idea. I think it's a cool idea, you know? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't know where they're going to store the blimp or anything like that. But
like the thing with like drones and stuff is like there's a lot of things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
With that
in midair, like it just falls on someone. Yeah. Like, oh, like you got a lawsuit on your hands now, right? As a company.
Or like if a dog like jumps up and like, or like if it's like trying to come down and then like slaps it or something.
And then now you have the problem where that package never got to the owner.
Yeah.
Or the person who paid for it, you know?
Yeah.
But I think the good thing about it, like the pros about it is right now the problem is traffic, right? You got to traverse traffic to get to someone's house.
Yeah.
With the drones, like what? You're going to wait for the pigeons to pass by or something? No, you're just going to drone it right over. And so that creates like more efficient way of transporting it.
Because like, I think there was like a statement by Amazon saying like that the 1 mile transportation like to the person's house is the most expensive part of their their like delivery process.
Because it's not even like worth it, right? It's only a mile away.
Yeah.
Compared to like actually going like.
Yeah. And so that's why they're trying to implement drones and stuff, because
I guess for like closer transportation. Yeah. That would make sense actually.
And I think it'll work like good in rural areas.
Oh, that's true.
With less people, because like over here, it's
like the places where it's like the nearest neighbor is like 20 miles away.
Yeah. I think that'll work, because like then you don't have to waste that much on gas and stuff. Like have one driver go all the way.
That'd also work for like doing like your shopping for groceries or things too, because if not, you're gonna have to like drive 30 miles to the nearest Walmart.
I know.
Just to pick some stuff up and drive back. Like
there are places like that
disconnected from like society, basically.
Like that, those services really help those people.
I was watching a video on college campuses too. On some of them, they have like these little robots that transport food.
Really?
And so like I'm pretty sure that's like the next step that they're trying to implement is robots. To do things.
Because right now they're using robots in production, like mostly production.
Like factories.
Yeah,
and all
factories.
That.
They're like expensive robots. That they do like all these jobs, but now they're trying to make robots and like AI and artificial intelligence.
And that can do like practical things like
and that can help people in their day-to-day society. Like, and I think that's like the next step.
I was watching one where like police cars that like drive by themselves and like they pull you over, and then like they have like
that shit's gonna pull everybody over. Then
it is. But I was thinking like there's nobody there. You could just like ignore the car basically and just dip.
But like I'm pretty sure it's gonna record everything. Like,
well, yeah, but
like it's gonna record the license plate, and then they're gonna.
But to implement it, that's gonna cost a lot of money.
Yeah, to actually.
So you actually have to have like something that actually works. Have you seen the videos of people recording Tesla owners falling asleep on the wheel?
Yeah.
But the Tesla keeps driving. I think that's kind of crazy because like they program that Tesla to keep driving and like the self-drive feature. And if someone's asleep on the wheel, like, I think that would save them, right? But people are getting mad.
I mean, it depends, like, because people are, like, kind of hesitant, like, of that, like, this is a new technology, right? And with every new technology, people aren't, like...
they're always hesitant, Yeah. But I think that, the self-driving car probably drives better than some of the drivers out there.
It does, like, some of them, but at the same time, it's like...
They don't trust it,
Yeah. They'd
rather trust a drunk driver.
But like I think sleeping behind the wheel, like it's not like safe, especially.
Well, obviously it's not safe.
Yeah.
But there's people that fall asleep, like genuinely fall asleep on the wheel while driving a normal car. And what's gonna happen to them? They're gonna swerve or something. Yeah. But if they fall asleep in a Tesla, even if it's by a most likely accident, right? But even if they do it on purpose, like the Tesla, it's gonna keep going,
Yeah.
And it's doing it a lot safer than falling asleep and swerving into the next lane and. Possibly.
I mean, that's why, like, I think, like, most new cars, they don't have the self-driving feature, but they have, like, the lane keeping assist.
Yeah, keeping it in the lane. Like, I know Mercedes does that a lot, too.
I mean, even all these, like, Honda Civic, I think.
Because technology is getting better, and they're like, hey, let's put this in there,
Yeah. I mean, it's gotten cheaper. Like, at first, like...
At first, it was like a luxury.
Yeah, the luxury cars had it.
And now it's more like, they're like...
Yeah. Like, right now, I went to the car show, like, last week. And they had a Range Rover that had the rear view mirror as a camera. Like there was a camera that
isn't Range Rovers for like off-roading and all that stuff? Or
Land Rover, I mean. Oh, okay. It's like the luxury car.
Yeah.
And so
'cause I was thinking like, oh, you want a rear view mirror like lane tracking and off-roading?
Yeah, but like there was like a one that had a camera like on the back. Like, you know how a rear view camera is?
Yeah, but like so like when you're backing out and
but one
it tells
for
you where you're gonna be.
The rear view mirror, so that you don't have to like if you're like stuff in the back is blocking your view, you could just
with the actual the mirror on the side, not like the actual dash.
No, with the mirror.
Oh,
it's a display,
so that
crazy. You could see. Yeah,
because usually they put it on like your radio system, the dash and the
so
screen.
That you don't have to have it in reverse. Use it.
Like you can just automatically.
Yeah, it'll have it the whole time.
That'll make sense. But I was wondering, like, because that gets me thinking. Those like truck drivers, that drive the semis. Mm-hmm. Like, how do they look behind what's going on?
I know.
I was watching, or I saw It's like the LG or the smart semis or something like that.
Yeah.
That way, people behind it,
Mhm.
you know how the truck is blocking their view. They can't see if there's a car coming
Yeah.
to pass it. So it has like a screen on the back that shows them the front of the road.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, oh, someone can just, see the screen and pass whenever they think it's safe.
Yeah. I think that like even Tesla, I think they introduced the semi truck.
Oh, I saw semi truck,
Yeah.
the Tesla version.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking like, why do we need this? But
But
okay.
like, dude, it's gonna have the self-driving thing, and like this would like I was thinking, like the self-driving truck is gonna have a big impact on businesses, because like
definitely.
currently, like people are driving these trucks, right?
But
And
if you can get the truck to drive itself
and then
efficiently,
you
you don't need to hire the people, right?
and it'll save them a lot of money. But at
It
the
would save
same
the
time,
businesses a lot of money.
where do those people
Exactly. Where
Yeah.
where do those people go?
Yeah.
We need people like that to keep our economy growing,
Mhm.
right? Like it
Have
sucks
you
to
listened
say.
to Andrew Yang? You know
no,
who that is?
I don't know who that is.
Okay, Andrew Yang. He's like a presidential candidate and Democratic presidential candidate, and he was
No.
talking about this.
Oh, so he's running for election?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
running.
okay. There's
And
so many people in the Democrat side running. I don't,
Yeah.
don't even know.
but I listened to him on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was talking about like exactly this, like that trucks are, if this is where we're heading, right?
Yeah.
That self-driving trucks,
A lot of people are gonna be left without jobs.
and like that's gonna make a significant impact in other like smaller markets as well, because if one person is driving, right, like a normal person is driving to a destination, they had to stop, right, and they go to a restaurant and pay for their meal and all that. And what if that stops, then that restaurant will get less business, and then in turn that business
I can see how like
going to go
small little decisions have a greater impact in society in general.
So that's the big
That's always tough
issue.
to like,
Yeah.
have like a foresight of what's gonna happen. Because you can't always tell how your decisions would impact.
Yeah, like for the
something.
businesses,
For example,
it saves them money.
If Elon Musk stayed in college, Tesla would probably have never happened, right? We probably might not have Teslas,
Maybe.
or maybe they wouldn't be called Teslas because maybe someone would have come up with the idea.
Like I think the first thing he made was like first company.
I think it was PayPal, wasn't it?
Yeah. And he had the biggest share, and he sold the company, and so he got like a lot of money for that sale, selling his company,
and that would allow him to invest in other things.
If he chose like, no, I'm just gonna chill now, like I'm not gonna spend.
Yeah, I don't have to work anymore.
Like
then
none of this advancement would have happened.
Yeah.
But like he had a passion, like he has a, who would have thought like you could build a space company, like build spaceships,
going to
like,
space, and they're saying like,
that's what the government would do. Like,
the government took like decades competing against like Russia just to do that.
Yeah, and he didn't have like any formal education. He just like read books on space, like spaceships, rockets, and
that's what I'm saying. Sometimes a degree is meaningless, right?
If you have the passion, like you don't need anybody or anything to do it. Like,
because sometimes you can get the degree and have no idea what you're talking about. You just somehow luckily soared through school and got the degree, but you don't deserve that degree.
But like,
then there's people who never go to school but are like really qualified for that.
Yeah, they're driven. That's the. It's just
they like self-study and they become masters on the subject, like Elon Musk,
and they don't need anybody else to tell them to do it. And
they become their own bosses, and I think that's kind of a luxury, to be your own boss. But at the same time, if you're,
you gotta. It's not everybody can do it.
You
gotta know yourself.
A lot of people are terrible employees, but even worse jobs or worse employers. Yeah, because they can't even manage themselves.
Yeah, you gotta like. Most people think that when you're your own boss, like
it's easy, soaring through. Yeah. Like you have to be stricter with yourself.
It should be that you're working for your employees, not the other way around. Like you should be trying to help them. Like you're trying to hold this up. You're laying the foundation. You're telling them that you got to work on this assignment and how to do the assignment, what it should like entail, and when it should be due. That
ideally you should be doing that if you want your company to grow, basically.
And you had to do it not like in a force them to do it. Like you had to make.
You got to kind of share your passion with them. That way they themselves want to do it.
You got to share the vision.
A lot of people don't like have the patience to actually learn how to do something and want to do something.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's like, oh, I have to do this because it's my job, and I won't get paid if I don't do it.
And then you got to look at the other way, that like you're actually helping towards this goal,
a greater end goal of society, right?
Yeah. It's all perspective. It's everything, how you look at it. And
a lot of people, put themselves in a perspective of like being above everybody else. But like people like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, all these people that like have led us to the age we are right now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they themselves humbled themselves,
Yeah, for sure.
They did the work, they know how it is to work 16 hours plus.
Like I watched the recent Bill Gates documentary on Netflix, and it showed like him as like in school, right? Like he was in school, like high school, and he learned how to code with his friend, and he worked all night like trying to figure out how to code. Yeah. And like
realistically, nobody would work all night trying to figure out how to code. If they like, especially back then when coding wasn't that big, like to them it was just like what is this?
Like the first thing, I didn't even know about this until I watched the documentary. But like, he was coding for the school, like his school that needed to make school schedules, right? And he wanted to make an algorithm that could figure out to like every kid's schedule, all the times that fit with each class. Like there's a lot of restrictions in the schedule, right? And so he wanted to make an algorithm that could do all that. And
so basically,
and so like he started coding, right, with his friend Paul Allen, like also like a big partner with Microsoft. But he started doing that 2 weeks before school was starting, and so that was his deadline before school. And so he worked like every day.
Did he do it?
Yeah, he did it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And so that was the first thing. And he did that, for free. Like he didn't charge nothing, or he just loved doing coding, right?
So basically.
And then that led to a company, like a company
Microsoft
saw that and said like, we need your experience with that, like to help us. We need you to make an algorithm for us.
They saw potential in him, right?
And then he helped other companies do like coding for them, and then over time that built up into the software company that it is, and now into products. Now they have computers, like so much. So I mean that just goes to show like one passion. Like there's so much, like
nothing starts off as a big idea. It starts off as little ideas that lead and grow into something larger, like what we have now. Basically, the Microsoft company wouldn't have happened if he didn't create a schedule for his school. Basically, these little decisions have great impact towards your future, And the scary part sometimes is you can't tell until after it's happened. You can't tell, like, oh, maybe if I didn't do this, then this wouldn't have happened, right? You can't tell that until it's already happened. So I think it takes courage to be the one to, I'm going to pursue this, because you don't know what the end results are going to be. It's a risk. But if you have a passion for it, the risk is worth it, I think.
Everything has a price to pay. Like everyone has a price to pay for whatever you're doing. Like if you want something bad enough, you'll get it. But like there's a price to pay for that. You're going to sacrifice time with your family. You're going to sacrifice time with friends or partying or whatever. But that's the price to pay in order to get to where you want to be.
The opportunity cost, as Miss Carlton would say.
But I mean, there's a price to everything. Yeah.
And sometimes the price isn't worth it, but in some cases, it's worth it.
And that's a decision you got to make on your own.
And it's a scary decision, I'm pretty sure. Think about it, like they were either deciding, should I give up my college and everything to pursue this, or do I keep going the safe route? The safe route that's going to guarantee me a job somewhere. Maybe.
Yeah, he could have.
And not always, because there's a lot of people that get their degree, they get out of college, and they have nowhere to go. They don't know what to do with their degree.
That's like one of the biggest things. That's why I looked at it early. Like I saw all this, like people were working jobs that they don't even like to do. And I was like, you have a degree, you have all this stuff, like you don't even enjoy what you like to do, what you set out to do. Like for me, that I wouldn't want to live like that.
I think at least if you're living like that, try to pick up a hobby, you know.
But like even if you don't like realize that you don't like to enjoy it, and realize that you could change that.
Yeah.
You could change, like if you don't want to do something, there's other things out there for you. And some people, you know, they might be a little older, like in their 40s, 50s, but you could still change. Like there's nobody stopping you except you. Yeah. But people get too comfortable with that,
where they're at already.
And they don't want, they see like,
to change.
Yeah, they see that there's other ways, but they're too afraid that they're going to fail. But failure is a part of success. Yeah. There's no failure and success. It's failure leads and success. Yeah. It's not like two different
small failures build up towards your success, right?
Nobody that's ever been successful has not failed.
Well, that's only if when you fail, you don't back down. Yeah. A lot of people fail once and they never pursue it again.
That's the patience. People have severe lack of patience. Yeah. When they're going at it, they see that's not working, but if it's not working, change it. Yeah. You could change what you're doing. And
I think something that's a little bit hard with that though, is the older people. Maybe like, well, I call them old, but you know, maybe like they're getting towards their 30s, late 30s. Yeah. Those people, you know, they probably have families that they have to take care of. And so changing something would possibly put their family in a worse position, you know? Yeah. And so a lot of times
that's a lot of times they don't want to
do that, right?
Decision. And so,
And so like the decision of, let's say, the head of the household to do something like that, and let's say it doesn't work out, like the whole family is kind of screwed, you know. Now they're all lower in, I wouldn't say status, but they have to. They're basically at a disadvantage now, you know. Yeah. Because they're struggling with all these financial problems now, and so I would think that that's where the hobby comes in. Try if you're working one of those jobs and you have family, try picking up like a hobby, something you really enjoy doing. Yeah. And then start working that hobby until it becomes something that you can have
monetize.
You can gain from. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like work that hobby so that it starts making money for you. And then that's when you have a safe place to go. You know, you have somewhere that you really enjoy doing, but that you can dedicate a lot of time towards. Yeah.
And that's where it starts off, really, as something you enjoy. Some people find it early in life, you know, like, and
I'd say those are the lucky ones.
Yeah. But it takes work to find that too. Like if you expect to get that just with sitting around, you're not gonna.
No, you have to apply yourself to things and see what you enjoy doing.
Yeah, there's no way you could do it just like sitting around and not thinking about. You got to ask yourself a lot of questions every single day in your mind, saying, "I like this. I don't like this. What can I do with it? What I like?" And expand from that.
It's a struggle, but
that's what it takes. Life is hard, man.
That's the point, you know? I think life without suffering isn't ideal. There has to be suffering, you know?
Yeah, that's why, like, I believe, like, there's a yin and the yang with everything. Like, there's, with absolute success comes with a lot of sacrifice and, like, losses. But it comes with, like, every circumstance that you're in, there's always a positive and a negative.
And the negative. Yeah. A lot of times people don't want the positive because they don't want to go through the negative. Yeah. But a lot of times, you know, going through that negative not only makes you a better person, but helps you get to the positive, you know? Yeah. And at the end goal, what do you want? You want something positive for society. Yeah.
You want to make an impact. You want to be happy.
Because ideally, you don't want to just change your life. You want to change other people's lives, right? You want to make the world better than it was before, right? That's ideally what I would think any sane person would want to do.
Yeah. I think that's what most people want, but like everybody wants to do it. No, but not everybody actually does it. Yeah. Not everybody actually puts in the time, puts in the work. And that's the difference. 99% of people won't do it. But the 1% that do will be remembered in the history books. Yeah. That's what we read in class because they actually did it.
They actually, you know, took the chance to do it. Yeah. And obviously there are some outliers, but the outliers aren't the norm, you know? Yeah. There are people who lucked out, you know, got there by chance. Yeah.
of course.
But those are outliers. Like, you know what you do with outliers? You ignore the outliers and you focus on the main part of the data, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so those are everybody else, you know, what they're doing. You know?
Yeah. I think that's very important to learn.
Yeah. And that leads to where we are now, you know, how society is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it comes with all the good things, but also comes with all the bad things, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think like that's why people need to read more books. Like people have lost the
touch with, you know, books are the way we learn from people who have already done things, right?
Yeah.
And so reading the books, you know, it helps you learn the situations that other people went through, and you see parallels between what they're going through.
I know it's all
and what you're going
through.
through.
200,000 years of humans that have lived here, and you think that like what they've done doesn't correlate
to what we're doing right
then
now?
It's complete. Then you're completely wrong.
Just because, you know, we have the advancements in technology doesn't mean that our fundamentals aren't the same. You know.
Yeah.
Sure, they did different things. You know, they sacrificed people and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
you got to learn from that. You got to see what their failures were, what their successes are, how they got to
where they are right now. You know, and that all comes from reading.
Mm-hmm. And
a lot of it too.
Yeah. And people, I think some people or a lot of people have lost like the touch for reading.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of knowledge in reading books.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think like the main reason is because like school, they like teachers force kids to read like books.
But I think the books that they force them to read, I think a lot of times it's because it's fiction.
Yeah.
And sure, you can analyze a lot of fiction.
Yeah, I hate fiction books.
But I think nonfiction.
But that's
books,
just my opinion. But.
Yeah, like fiction is good at maybe like entertainment for you, right?
But I learn way more.
You can learn so much reading the nonfiction books.
Mm-hmm. And I think it comes with time though. Like not everybody.
I think people become. I think during school, you know, a lot of people don't like reading, but after that, especially in college, they learn to enjoy reading. I would think.
Yeah, there's some books out there that I could read like 3 times.
I think a good education, like you're paying for college, right? And you know, a good college education would teach you to learn to you know read the books, right?
Yeah.
And so, like currently, I got assigned a book called The Coddling of the American Mind, right? And so far, I'm really enjoying the book.
Yeah. Is it like a textbook or? Like
no. It's an actual book. It's a nonfiction book too, because the teacher had a choice between fiction and nonfiction, and I think he did something really good. He chose a nonfiction book, you know, things you can actually learn from, right? And I really do enjoy this book because it's talking about what happened just a couple years ago, you know, around like 2017.
Yeah.
You know, the riots in places like Berkeley and all that.
Yeah.
These are institutes of education, and the people are rioting because of opposing opinions. And so the book itself teaches you to stop being so sensitive towards other people's ideas and opinions, you know?
Understand both sides and then conclude.
Education is supposed to be about, it's not about comfort. It's about, you know, challenging yourself.
Yeah.
Having other ideas that, you know, like oppose your ideas. And that, you know, you're supposed to learn from that and grow from it.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't grow from it if you've been overprotected your whole life. If your parents have, you know, protected you. It's a thing where, you know, they're taking obstacles away from the road is what they're doing. Instead of letting the people prepare for those obstacles. Yeah. You're just taking everything away, and the people are trying to like, they're not going to grow from that, you know?
All these participations trophies and stuff.
Yeah. You know, hey, 28th place. No, what? No. That's not the way you grow, you know? People get those participation trophies and they expect that that's how life is going to be. They think that, hey, 28th place in life is good. Yeah. You know, I can go through life and
they get comfortable is what happens.
And not only that, since they've been overprotected this whole time. Yeah. The first time that they're in the real world, you know, and they realize that not everything goes with their ideals.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't know how to deal with that. They don't know how to properly, you know, go through life and have these conflicts with people and manage them in the right way. You know, they don't know how to, like, a debate, a healthy debate isn't supposed to be a fight. And you see these these riots break out in places like Berkeley, where they're the students are inviting people like Milo, and these like you know, conservative people that come over, and the left, was they were, you know, they couldn't deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
And what do? They break out and riot.
Yeah.
They say that violence or that speech is violence, right? And where does that get them? They say, oh, my physical attacks is self-defense.
Yeah.
That's, you know, that's, if you can't handle someone else's opinion, what are you doing in an institute like Berkeley where it's all about education?
Yeah. And I think people need to learn that other people, like if you have somebody's opposing opinion and you have a different opinion, you have to understand their side, where they're coming from.
You have to have a conversation.
Like every argument is just a defense. It shouldn't be a defense. It should be
productive. It should be, you know, a conversation.
Not like, oh, this is that's your side, this is my side, and we're not gonna budge. We're just gonna see who's better.
And the book talks about that. It refers to it as us versus them. That there's this a lot of people believe that it's us, our group, versus their group. Yeah. When it shouldn't be like that. It should be all of us.
I mean, and this is like simple knowledge. Like once you read it or once you like understand it, it's easy, but you have to actually implement it in when you get into that situation. And that's the tough part. People don't like, yes, I'm saying that we're saying that together right now, but
when you put in the situation, you have to you remember that.
Yeah, you got to remember that and actually do it, because that's the difference there.
That's the difference between knowing and actually applying what you know. Yeah, you know, because what's the point of reading all the stuff if you're not going to apply it to your life? Yeah, to become a better person.
Yeah, everything you read, like if you read, like people have read hundreds of books, like so many books, but if you just sit there with that knowledge and you just
don't do anything with it.
Yeah, don't do anything with it, then you're not really making a difference. You know? And so
you have like all this potential and you're not using it, you know? Yeah. So what you got to do is you got to use it. And you got to, I think, you know, use it to better the world, better society. Yeah. You know, like how these people, I keep referring to Elon Musk because, you know, he's done all this stuff, you know? Yeah. He had all the information, he's used it, and the world wouldn't be the same without him.
Yeah, there are people like that throughout history that they changed the world for the better because they had this vision, this idea, and they went after it.
It started as an idea in their imagination. Yeah. You know?
That's all it takes is once you think of it, you shouldn't be like, oh, it's impossible.
Yeah, I think if you can think about it, then that means it's within the boundary of what you can do. Yeah. You just have to, you know, stick with it and pursue it.
Yeah. And a lot of people give up because they care too much about what other people think. Yeah. And that kind of disables them to like grow. People have limits on what they can do because somebody told them. Maybe it was their parents, maybe it was, you know, a friend saying that you can't do that. And they listen to it and
they believe it. They buy into it, right?
And what you got to look at is that they don't really know you. They don't know who you are. They don't know why you want that so much. And so why should you believe them? They don't know what your
passion is, right?
Yeah. Why should you believe them? Like, who are they to tell you what to do?
A lot of times it's too because they gave up on their dreams. Yeah. Why are you going to follow their dreams? You're just going to end up like them. Yeah. You know, you have to learn from them. Right.
And that's what that's all the books are about. Like that I read, especially like I read about people telling like the characters like that you shouldn't, like people telling them that you shouldn't do that, and then they did it anyways and they succeeded or they failed or whatever happened.
And if they failed, they learned from it. Hopefully,
it's all in like failures and successes are all an experience, but I think failures are a greater learning experience than any success. Like I think
because failures tell you
failures are more valuable than success.
I think so too, especially if you personally experience one. Because when you experience a failure and you grow from it, you know, okay, this is where I went wrong, and you can pinpoint things about yourself that you need to change. Yeah, you know, like, oh, maybe I'm not the most patient person in the world. I can work on this.
Yeah, for sure.
And that'll make you a better person in general. I would think.
Yeah, and that it comes back to the point that you actually do it, because that's the main key.
Action. It takes action. You know?
Like, I heard this thing like actions speak louder than words.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
that's what I was trying to
That's
say.
a really common saying, and
Yeah.
you know, I think the reason sayings get, you know, repeated and repeated is because a lot of the times it's true, or most of them, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to keep pushing for it.
I think. You want to talk about anything else or no? You're good.
I think, you know, the topic we were talking about right now connects to like so many things in the world around us, like, you know, taking action of doing it right. That connects back to how we started this conversation.
Yeah.
With, you know, the video game thing and all that. Those people took action, you know.
Yeah.
They were couch potatoes at first, you know. They take action into doing things that they want to pursue. In the end, it gets them to that. And I think the angle of, you know, bettering society and all that, we can see that in so many books that people try to do that. And I think that's, since a lot of people stop reading, you know, I don't think there's many like readers out there. There's have you ever seen Ty Lopez, and he's like in his garage?
Oh yeah.
He's like, hey, look at my Lamborghini.
Yeah.
But you know what's more important than the Lamborghini? The bookshelf behind me or something like that. But he's kind of right, as cringy as it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of right, you know, like,
I mean, people don't understand knowledge is power. Like people hear it all the time, but until you like understand it, like really understand it, that the lack of knowledge, ignorance is what leads to a lot of people's problems.
Yeah.
And so like, that's what all failure is. Failure is a lack of knowledge in that particular point.
And
like,
because of the failure, you know what you lacked.
Yeah. And that's where you figure out. And then you learn from it.
Yeah,
and
that's
you
where
fill
you
in the
figure
gap.
out.
And that's just builds to the next step. I think whatever.
Someone that I think show this too is Trump.
Really?
Yeah, because think about it. He was running for president, right? And I think he was really smart with his marketing. You know, I don't think I saw a Trump ad.
Really?
Most of what I saw from Trump was on the news. So they kind of like did free. I
mean, that's what. Yeah, during the election time, that's what was smart about him. Like he said all this
controversial stuff.
Yeah,
that,
but like the news like played it like 24/7.
Yeah,
like,
and the news basically gave him publicity.
Yeah,
and I think there's a saying where it's like all publicity is good publicity or something like that.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
I don't know exactly what the saying is, but you know, publicity is publicity.
Yeah.
You know, and you're getting known. And I think even if he made a name for himself there. I didn't know who Trump was back then. You know,
really?
Well, I wasn't really well informed in that.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
And so I think that was pretty smart what he did to win the election. And, you know, now they're going through this thing. They're trying to impeach him now, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, this brings up like a lot of things. But I was thinking, if they impeach him now, like, could he run again just for the next election?
That's what we were talking about. And Sam, Shyam and Sam, number 7, we were saying like that you couldn't get like run again because you got impeached, but I'm not sure. I haven't looked it up.
I was reading and it says that there's removal of office when you're impeached, right?
Yeah.
But then they can also pursue disqualification of office. But if they don't,
but it's not like the same thing. Like it's if you get impeached, then you don't get disqualified or okay, yeah.
And so the thing is, they can pursue to disqualify him, but that would have to be a simple majority vote in the Senate. But if they don't do that, then that means he can run again for the next election.
Like, I don't think he's gonna get impeached. Like, I think it's already been 3 years.
Yeah, right? I think why would you impeach him now? You know, when you had like other times, and then you're impeaching him for this instead of like all the other things that he supposedly did.
I don't know, but like I said before, like politics, like there's so much stuff we don't know that goes behind the scenes. Like they lie constantly to our face, but you know that's just how it is.
That's the world.
Politics, you know? But we'll see how it goes in 2020.
Yeah. Talking about politics, did you hear about China banning like a bunch of like NBA and then the DJs and all that?
Yeah.
I was wondering what did they do to piss China off? And
I think the coach from the Houston Rockets like tweeted something. I'm not exactly sure.
Supporting the Hong Kong protests, right?
Yeah.
Something about that.
Yeah.
And so they're like censoring.
Yeah, and that same day, dude, they started taking down the NBA signs and everything. Like there was a Houston Rockets logo, like a practice facility, and they started painting the logo
over it.
Yeah. because they're like pissed.
That just shows how far their censorship goes, right?
Yeah. Well, like first, what happened was like he sent the tweet, right?
Yeah.
And then Adam Silver, like, or the NBA tweeted back, like the NBA profile, like the league.
Oh, the actual like NBA.
Yeah. They posted like a thing that saying that that it's that like defending defending China.
Yeah.
Saying that it's fine.
I think the coach said that like, oh, we do not represent, or he does not represent what we actually, believe, that we're not there for political reasons. We're there purely for NBA.
Yeah.
I think is what they were saying. But I think that the free speech is something that's, over there in China, they're obviously, censoring. Over here, if people started doing that, like if the United States started censoring, that would, everybody would,
Yeah, people don't understand like that in China, it's a a communist country, and they really like censor people. Like you have to be a certain way in that country.
I think they claim that they're not communist, but I think behind the scenes, they're definitely.
They're in recent years, like economically, they've been doing well.
Yeah, economically they're not communist, but in all their other ideals, I think they are.
Yeah.
But that shows, like, if that were to happen in the United States, that would not stand. I don't think so.
Like, what, almost 250 plus years for the United States to be a country, right? And I don't even know how long China's been a country.
China's been around since the beginning of mankind. They've been there since the start, Yeah. And they've had many empires and all that stuff.
But they stayed communist from, I think, like the 60s or 50s.
This is all like A-Push stuff, and I never took A-Push.
No, it's like AP World.
Oh, yeah, that's AP World. My bad. I got a 3 on that.
I mean, that's how I found out. Like, I had my project on Mao Zedong. Like, he was the China
leader. China's leader for a time.
Yeah, like 1940s or something like that. But yeah.
But that goes to show, I think that's why free speech is so important. And that connects back to what was happening in Berkeley. If you're trying to suppress free speech, then that's not really favoring anybody. And if you can't handle the free speech, then you yourself have to try to, handle different ideas better. You have to hear them out. You don't always have to agree with what they're saying, but, you have to be respectful, understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
But, still have your own point of view, Don't follow things blindly either.
Yeah. It's good to look at things from both sides, because that's how you learn, like, what's right, what's wrong.
And that's how things change.
Own values.
And policies happen and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like the suffrage and all that stuff. And that comes from, them voicing out their opinions. If we would have censored them.
Yeah. It wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. And I think the world's all the better for it now.
Yeah, like people are sometimes scared to stand up for what they believe in.
Yeah.
And when they do stand up, then they realize, like, I was afraid of nothing. Like, this is what I believe in. This is my passion. I wanted to share this. And they did it. And maybe it worked out, maybe it didn't, but they keep trying and pushing, and maybe it won't happen in their lifetime, but like it inspires other people. But they can be
the start of a bigger thing,
Yeah.
The start of, something that changes the world.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of times people wonder, like, what's our purpose on the world and all that stuff. I think part of the purpose is to make the world better than it was before.
I think I remember the quote, like, if you haven't made a significant impact in your lifetime, like if you haven't done anything positive, while you were on this earth, then what have you really done?
Yeah, you haven't done anything.
Yeah.
You just strolled through life, and you were just kind of there. You were I hate to say it, but like a lot of people are like this too. And I hope I'm not like this, but you were a background character, just
going through life for
a prop, basically, in someone else's story.
And those who choose to make change in this world will be the ones who are remembered. Like those who really like take the time and sacrifice their time and really empower like their ideas will be the ones who are remembered, and they're the ones who make a significant impact.
Sometimes you're not remembered for good things though, but
yeah,
you're remembered.
You remembered something. Yep.
And you can still, if you're remembered for something bad, that causes debate among other people that can lead to better things.
Yeah, but make sure you do positive things.
Yeah, make sure that if someone's remembering your name, that they're remembering you for like, hey, you did something good, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully nobody remembers you as like, oh, this was the second Hitler.
Yeah. Make a positive impact.
Yeah. You don't want to be remembered as Hitler is remembered,
Yeah.
Or Stalin or all these other tyrants,
Yeah. Be remembered for doing good.
Yeah. Be remembered for people like, Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and all these other people.
Yeah. There's a lot of great people out there that did amazing things. Yeah. But I think it's time to wrap it up. You think we're good here?
That was an interesting discussion.
Yep. That was fun.
Yeah, it was like threading to multiple topics, but I think, they're all connected by one thing. And that would be, try to better the world, be positive.
Yep. All right. And thanks for coming on.
All right.
Yeah. All right. See you guys. Thanks for watching this episode. Check out the social media, Sound 14 Podcast. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. Peace.